just like cooking. I didn't know what I was doing coaching. I was just giving them the ball. We're getting pressed, killing. So my uncle's like, yeah, man, just, who cares? It's not going to be nothing. Just take these uniforms. It's been fair game after that. We just been rolling. He set me up.
All right, just started recording. All right, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, welcome to another episode of Expand Your Brand. A little bit of a different atmosphere today. Austin and I are doing Zoom. I've been feeling a bit under the weather, so we're going to do a Zoom episode for you guys and make our picks. And then once we make our picks, we'll hop into our interview with Expressions Elite AAU Coach Joseph Saunders. We had Coach Saunders on Friday night, so very exciting stuff. Austin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to dive into this bracket and see what we come up with.
Right. Yeah, I know it's going to be super exciting. We have some great stuff, coming up. The tournament's right around the corner. It's tomorrow. Super excited for the NCAA tournament to start for us, and so we have going on. Remember, you guys can also sign up on Golf News RI. As you can see in my screen, you can see that I'm on the Golf News RI Yahoo bracket. You guys can make your picks here, sign up. Winner gets a swag bag of some Golf News RI merch and everything. So it'd be great to have you guys sign up. We have about 11 members right now. We'd love to get that up to about 20 or 30. So definitely feel free to sign up, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Austin, let's get into it. I mean, we had a crazy week with, last week was all the conference tournaments. It was a crazy week of conference tournaments and everything that was going on. And now we're here. We're finally in March. We're dancing. Everyone's dancing here. So we got our tournament coming up. I think we'll make our picks here live. As you can see, I got my bracket cleared. Austin has his bracket in front of him as well too. So we'll make our picks and we're gonna go. We'll start with the South region first. So we'll start South. We'll start with the overall #1 seed, which is Alabama versus, I think that's Southeast Missouri and Texas A&M's Corpus Christi. So for 16. So one of those two. Who are you gonna go with that on that pick?
I'm going with Alabama on that one.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty easy pick on that one. I'm gonna go Alabama as well.
Yeah.
Our next up, we have in the South region with the 8-9 seed with Maryland versus West Virginia. Who are you gonna go with West Virginia versus Maryland game?
I'm gonna go with West Virginia.
All right, same here. I'm picking West Virginia. All right, so we might have to go start. We're on the same page, Austin. We can't have the same score.
Never know. We can get some. We'll split the swag bag.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good. All right, so next we got the 5 seed San Diego State University versus number 12 Charleston. Who do you got going in this one?
I'm gonna go upset. I'm gonna go with Charleston. There's always a 12-5 that's upset, I feel like. So I think Charleston's gonna take it.
That's exactly what I was picking too. So.
Well, all right. Well, moving on, Virginia or Furman then.
I'm actually gonna go Furman over Virginia.
Oh, boo! I'm going with Virginia.
All right. So we'll switch it up there. So now we got Creighton, NC State. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with Creighton. I gotta stick with the Big East teams. I hope they make a huge run in this tournament. So I'm gonna go with Creighton.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Although NC State has a kid from Rhode Island on there, Isaiah Miranda, who is on the team. Even though I would like to see them go pretty far for him, but yeah, I think Creighton's just too good.
I agree.
They're so good. And then we got Baylor versus. I think that's University of California, Santa Barbara, which it is. And so who do you have for that?
I'm going to go with Baylor.
Baylor's tough.
Yeah.
And Missouri versus Utah State.
Let's go Utah State.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go for Missouri for our past guest, Albert, who lived in Missouri and is a big Missouri fan.
Yep.
And then Arizona, Princeton.
Arizona.
All right. And we'll continue with the South region here, and we'll finish the South region and we'll move over to the Midwest. But okay. Alabama, West Virginia.
I'm gonna go Alabama.
All right. And then you have Charleston versus Virginia. I have Charleston versus Furman. Who you got?
I'm going Virginia.
All right. I'm gonna go Charleston on that one. And then, Creighton versus Baylor. That should be a good matchup.
It should. I think I'm gonna go with Baylor. I think they're gonna be a little bit too tough for Creighton.
Yeah. Yep. I fully agree with you. And then the next matchup is you have Utah State versus Arizona. I have Missouri versus Arizona. Who you picking?
I'm gonna go Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. All right. So out of this,
I don't see much of them out in the West out there, but I mean they're a 2 seed for a reason. So
yeah, honestly, I didn't realize how good they were, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I don't really stay up that late to watch the games.
Mhm.
But if I could, I would love to. But I always think of Arizona like fell off, but the past 2 years they've been really, really good.
Yeah, I know it.
So we'll do Alabama, and you have Virginia, and I have
Yep.
Charleston.
I'm gonna go with Alabama.
All right, and then this is a good matchup: Baylor versus Arizona.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is strictly off of luck, but I'm gonna just go with Arizona.
All right, I think I'm gonna go Baylor. I think they have some good guards and good defense, and we'll see what happens. But
Yeah,
I
guard
could,
play is the key in March, that's for sure.
yeah, definitely. All right, so who do you have going to the Final Four in your region, out of this region?
I'm gonna go Alabama.
All right, same here. I think they're too tough, good defense. They played well in their tournament. So I think they
Yeah.
held on to everything. All right, so let's jump to the Midwest tournament here.
Okay.
The Midwest side of the bracket. We have Houston versus Northern Kentucky in the first round matchup.
I'm going Houston.
All right. And then Iowa versus Auburn.
I'm gonna go with Auburn.
All right. Jeez. I don't know. I'll go with Auburn too on that one. That one I'm unsure about that one.
Yeah.
And then Miami versus Drake.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
All right. I'm gonna go with Miami too. And
Yeah.
then Indiana versus Kent State.
I'm gonna go with an upset here. Don't know one thing about Kent State, but Indiana, I don't know. I mean, just I haven't really watched much of them, but let's just go Kent State and go with a flyer here.
Ah, there you go. I was gonna go Kent State as well too. I've been watching and hearing some things that they're probably one of the best 13 seeds. So
Okay, that's good news then, because that was purely a guess on
yeah,
on my
yeah, that was really good. Yeah. Now the next matchup would be Iowa State versus Mississippi State or Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go with the 11 seed with that one as well.
Jeez. Yeah, that's tough because it depends who gets in because I think Pittsburgh could beat Iowa State, but I'm gonna go Iowa State on this one. Next up we have Xavier versus Keenshaw State.
Yep, I'm gonna go Xavier.
Yep, same here. And then Texas A&M versus Penn State.
I'm gonna go Penn State.
Penn State. I'm gonna go A&M on that one.
Okay.
And then Texas versus Colgate.
This is my biggest upset of the tournament right here. I'm going Colgate.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna go Texas. I think Colgate does have a shot. I mean, they've made it. I think they've made it the past 3 years. There's also another kid from Rhode Island on there.
Yep.
That plays for Colgate. I had him. I did an interview with him. I'm drawing a blank on his name now.
Keegan Records.
Yeah, Keegan Records. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Good luck to Keegan. I mean, they keep making it and they keep winning their league. So who knows? That could happen.
I know. I feel like they have momentum going in, and they have experience now. So, I mean, who knows? Roll the table. Texas had a little hiccup with their coach and stuff this year, so you just never know.
Right. Yeah. You have no idea what's going to happen. I know that's why you love March though.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. So we got Houston versus Auburn, and I think that's who you had, Houston versus Auburn as well too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Houston.
Houston, and then Miami versus Kent State. We both had that one.
Yep. I'm gonna go Miami.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go Kent State. I'm gonna go.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. Another upset. And then Iowa State versus Xavier.
I'm going Xavier.
Yeah, you had Pitt too, or the 11 seed there. So
Yeah.
and then you had Colgate versus Penn State. I had Texas versus A&M. Who'd you go with?
I'm gonna go Penn State here.
I'm gonna go Texas. So all right. So now we're down to Houston and Miami on your end, and then yeah, who do you have for that?
Houston, Miami. I'm gonna go Houston.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go Houston as well too. And then who did you have for the second one? You had
I had Xavier, Penn State, and I'm going Xavier.
Xavier. Okay. I'm gonna go Texas. So out of Houston versus Texas, who do you have going? I mean Xavier.
I have
I'm sorry.
Houston, Xavier. I'm gonna go with Xavier on that one.
Wow. All right. All right.
Let's get one Big East team into the Final Four here.
I'm gonna go with Houston on this one.
Okay.
All right. So which one? So we just did the Midwest.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll switch it up. We'll do the West on this one.
Okay.
I think the West is I think this is the toughest bracket. I think there's so many good teams stacked up on this side. It's hard. It's really hard to pick who's going to come out of here, but let's see. Let's see what we can do. So Kansas versus Howard.
I'm going Kansas.
All right. And then number 8, Arkansas versus number 9, Illinois.
I'll go Arkansas here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. All right. St. Mary's versus VCU.
VCU.
All right. I'm gonna go St. Mary's. I think I picked too many upsets.
I know.
All right. Connecticut versus Iona. This one like really caught my eye.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Iona.
Are you really? Oh wow.
Yeah, they got a little up-tempo team. I think they got my former college coach Bob Walsh with Rick Pitino on the sidelines. I'm gonna go with Iona.
Yeah. I had a hard time picking back and forth for this one. I'm going with Connecticut, but it is in Albany, New York, which is like an interesting place where they're gonna be playing, which is close to Iona, but also
their backyard, huh?
Yeah, backyard, and I think also the same. I think a lot of people in Connecticut travel, so who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough matchup. That's crazy. I was shocked because I think Iona is one of the better 13 seeds too, because they ran their conference like no problem.
Yeah.
TCU versus Arizona State, or I think that's Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. I'm gonna go with the 11 seed there.
Okay, I'm gonna go TCU.
All right.
And then we have Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Gonzaga.
Northwestern versus Boise State.
Northwestern.
All right. And then UCLA versus UNC Asheville.
UCLA. I think UCLA is gonna be a sleeper in March Madness. They kind of got they kind of got hosed in the conference tournament the other day. So
yeah, I
think UCLA is gonna be tough.
And they lost one of their best players too, but that kid Amari Bailey's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, that was not a charge at all. He posterized that guy.
Yeah, I know. That was nuts. He didn't stick his arm out or anything. That was like a
put him on a poster and got called for a charge.
Yeah. It's
way to lose a conference championship game.
I know, right? Yeah. Can't even dunk on anyone anymore.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. All right, so now Kansas, and you had Arkansas as well. So who'd you pick? Who do you pick?
I'm gonna go Kansas.
All right, Iona. You had Iona, St. Mary's.
Iona, VCU. So I'm gonna go. Let's go Iona.
All right. Wow. I got UConn in that
Okay.
one. And then TCU versus Gonzaga. And then I think you had, who'd you go with? The 11?
I had ASU, Nevada. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga though.
Yeah, me too. And then the bottom bracket UCLA, and then did you have Northwestern as well?
Yep, I'm going UCLA.
Yeah, same here. All right. That leaves you have Kansas versus Iona. I have Kansas versus UConn. Who do you have coming out of that one?
Kansas.
I'm going Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah. I think they're just too big. I don't know. There's something.
UConn going into the Elite Eight, huh?
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. Taking a big one. Taking a risk
We'll
on that one.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Gonzaga, UCLA as well.
Yep. UCLA.
Yep. I'm gonna go with that too. All right. Final pick. You have Kansas versus UCLA.
Yep. Let's go. Go. Let's go Kansas.
All
They're
right.
always there.
I'm gonna go UCLA.
Okay.
All right.
I
Here
might
we
regret
are.
that one.
Moving over to the East region now. So we got
Yeah.
number 1 Purdue versus Fairleigh Dickinson and Texas Southern. Who do you have?
Yeah, this one could be a 16-1 upset.
I agree with you on that one too. It's a Purdue is that team that I mean they're hot, but I mean they played against their Big Ten, but I feel like every time they were at number 1, they'd always lose. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna go with Purdue, but I might regret that.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm gonna go with Purdue as well too. Memphis or Florida Atlantic?
I'm gonna go Memphis.
Me too. Florida Atlantic's good, but Memphis is also playing really good basketball too. They just won their
Yeah.
conference. Duke versus Oral Roberts.
I'm going Duke.
Yep.
I think Duke is a pretty much of a sleeper right now.
Yeah.
They didn't have the greatest season, but I think they're coming on and coming into their own.
Coming alive. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. Unfortunately, I don't really, well, I mean, Coach K is not there anymore, so Tennessee or Louisiana.
Tennessee.
All right. The storyline matchup here. We got Kentucky versus PC, Hopkins versus old team.
I'm keeping it at home.
Yeah, going PC.
Going with PC. Oh yeah.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna go with PC too. Kansas State versus Montana State.
Kansas State.
All right. And then Michigan State versus USC.
Go Michigan State.
Yeah, I don't know much about. I didn't think USC was that good this year. And then Marquette versus Vermont.
Marquette.
All right. So I have we have Purdue versus Memphis. What are you going with?
I'll go with Memphis here.
That was my pick too. I think that Memphis is going to shock them. Duke versus Tennessee.
I'm going Duke.
Same here. I can't count on Rick Barnes. Any team. PC versus Kansas State.
PC.
Marquette versus Michigan State.
Marquette.
Oh,
Big
boy.
East matchup in the Sweet 16.
I know. All right, so we have an eight seed versus a 5 seed here in the East. Who do you have, Memphis or Duke?
I'm going Duke.
All right, I'm gonna go. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna go Duke too. All right, PC versus Marquette.
I'm going Marquette.
I'm right there with you. All right, Elite Eight matchup: Duke versus Marquette.
Marquette.
All right. So our final 4. Who do you have? Who's your final 4 again?
Alabama, Marquette, Xavier, Kansas.
All right. I have Alabama, Marquette, Houston, UCLA. So who do you have in your first matchup? Alabama versus Marquette.
I'm going Marquette.
No, Marquette. Oh man. I am also gonna go Marquette as well too. Don't tell me Austin. We're going with the same pick here.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you have Xavier versus UCLA.
I have Xavier versus Kansas.
Kansas. Who do you have coming out of that?
I'm gonna go Kansas.
All right. I got UCLA versus Houston. I'm going to go UCLA.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, pick your winner.
I'm going Marquette for this one.
Me too.
I think
don't know, hard to bet against them. I don't know. They looked really good in the Big East championship.
yeah.
Hard to bet against that.
I think yeah, I mean I think they have, I mean, Kolek controls the game so well. Like I think it'll never get away from him. And I think when you have a guard in the setting of March Madness and they can control the game the way that he does, I think that's crucial.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. I just feel like, well, like I think when John too was on our episode as well too, what he said to us was, Marquette's ahead of schedule. No one predicted them to be where they are today. They're young. They don't have one senior on that team, which is also
Right.
crazy. But they're playing such good basketball. I mean, they pretty much swept the awards in the Big East
Yeah.
and with all their players and everything. So I don't know. I just, like you said, I think with Kolek, but they move the ball very well. They play good basketball, all of them together, and they're gelling and they're playing. I don't know, playing good ball. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think Marquette's just going to be that team to watch out for. So see what happens.
Yeah, we will. It'll definitely be interesting. I mean, to get any of these upsets right throughout the entire thing and then to pick the winner, I mean, it's a tall task.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely is. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I had a perfect bracket one time going into, I think, the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight, and I think George Mason upset me with UConn. I think UConn had ruined that perfect bracket. I mean, yeah, George Mason or ruined that perfect bracket that year. I think they had like Pop Mentabantu,
Yeah.
whatever that guy is. Yeah. And I'll never forgive them for it. So, but it was a wild scene at the time. But it should be an interesting the NCAA tournament. But that's our picks. That's pretty much going to be our episode. We're going to jump into our interview with Coach Saunders. We have I think coming up soon. We're looking to do a live event too. Quick announcement. I think on the 29th down at the Cigar Bar, they have an event coming up with Drew Estate. They're going to do some cigar wrappings. If you're in the area, definitely come check it out. For sure. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna hop into our interview. Austin, anything that you want to say before we sign off here?
No, everyone, good luck with your brackets, and hopefully we get some good games to watch and some good upsets, and look forward to seeing everyone on March 29th for the Drew Estate event, and we're gonna have a great interview with Joe.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get to a word from our sponsor, then we're gonna hop into our interview with Joe. We'll see you guys next week.
Welcome to Vintage Cigar Lounge, the place where you escape to, not from. The place where your cigar options are limitless. A place where friends come together and bond over the finest cigars and drinks. A place where your selected few can retreat to and enjoy premium cigars, great conversation, and your liquor of choice within the privacy of our private rooms. Looking for a place to escape to? Our doors are always open.
Okay, we'll sit down. All right, ready?
Ready to go.
All right. On today's episode, we welcome on a very special guest. He's Coach Joseph Saunders. He is the head coach of the Expressions Elite AAU basketball team for 8th grade basketball. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, doing awesome today. Happy. We're in our Hawaiian shirts. We got an event here where we film. So, and we're just hanging out. We're so happy for you to join us, and we'll continue our basketball theme this week.
Absolutely, man. It's March Madness. Got to get it going.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So, Coach, I'm going to start. I want to jump into your background, and we'll hop into the AAU Expressions and how you got involved with them and everything that you guys have going on there and the experiences you've had. But how did you get into basketball? What made you fall into love with the sport?
Oh, man. When I was younger, my dad and my mom, but more so my dad pushed me to basketball and things like that. Like growing up in Newport, Rhode Island, you know, I started at the Boys and Girls Club, and I just had a love for it even when I was younger. And I like really loved it. Like I used to just shoot on poles and everything like that. I always had a deep love for sports, football and basketball. I was a better football player, but I just loved the game, loved being around it, loved the competitive aspect of it and things in that forth. You got to compete and you got to play a lot like with basketball. Football is like tough. Like when I was younger, it's tough to, you know, just, you know, you work out and everything like that for football, but you only play 10 games, you know, but for basketball, you could play whenever, you know, so I had a deep love for it, and I love just watching it, especially college basketball. I remember growing up watching like Jay Williams and things like that, watching Big Monday and, you know, and things in that forth. So I just loved it as a kid, but my dad pushed me to it and my family.
That's awesome. Did you play for Coach Saris up in Rogers or up in Newport, or?
I sure did. Coach Saris, God rest his soul. He's a big mentor of mine. I played with him at obviously Rogers High School. I graduated in 2008. I started for him for 3 years. I won a freshman state championship too. Me and Mason Choice. So, you know, he was a big role model in my life, kept me on the straight and narrow, and really like nudged me into getting into the whole coaching aspect, because I thought I would never be a coach, to be honest with you.
That's amazing. Yeah, amazing guy. Just an amazing coach. And, you know, like you said, God rest his soul, and just a fantastic person overall.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what, after Rogers, what did you, you went to URI, played football, right?
I went to URI and was about to play football, silly, but you know, I always get into stuff. So I won't talk about that. And I took a detour and I didn't get into URI. So I went to CCRI and I went for a semester and I got into Johnson & Wales. So they go trimesters. So I went there, and one of my good friends, Lamont Thomas, was like, you should play here. I got there, had a 2.5, had the grades because I got accepted previously in high school, and I didn't sign a loan on time. So then I got a story for y'all. So I had to leave. So then I went back to CCRI. Coach Rick Harris, who's a good friend of mine, he redshirted me. I had to wait another year. Then I played. I was a sixth man. And I started a game, but I came off the bench with Josh Perry, who's the coach there currently right now. And then I went right to Rick. Like I had enough credits. I had like a 3.6, and I went right to Rick in 2011, 2012, because Mason Choice was there, who was my best friend and had a great career there. So that was my twists and turns to Rhode Island College.
Yeah. And then you ended up playing at Rick, right?
I did. I played 1 year. I tore my meniscus. I didn't have the year I wanted to have. I didn't get the time I wanted to get. And then we had a practice it's funny you said this, we had a practice at Providence College. And man, I never broke a bone. I never tore anything. I tore my meniscus, and I was out from mid-January on. I wasn't really in the rotation. I was more of like a hustle guy, practice guy. And that really set me back. That really like deterred me. Like I never went through an injury, so I didn't know how to bounce back from it. And after a while, like you start to get into it, like if I'm not going to make money off of this, I might as well, you know, just try to further my education and get into the working world. And that's where I felt like I fell out of the love for basketball a while after that injury. Like a lot of my friends were still there and things like that. I was cool with the ball team, went to all the games, and I did finish the season. Even though like I got injured, I finished the season and things like that. And we went to the NCAA tournament. Mason and Mike Akinrola like brought us on a real nice run, and we ended up losing in around the 32. So that was my college experience, but I was there with the guys and things like that and built great relationships with Coach Bob Walsh and Silly too. So
yeah. I totally know how you feel about the injuries, but I was going to say, I met you that next year, right?
Absolutely. Sure did.
Yeah. All right, that's what I was wondering the timeline. Yeah,
I was crazy. I was throwing all the parties and acting all nuts and things like that, but we won't get into that. But
I wasn't at any of those. So.
Nah, you wasn't at any of those. Thank
God. And so you said you fell out of love with basketball for a little while. What made the change for you, the decision to get into coaching and like to get back into the love of the sport?
Yeah,
man. So I was in Providence from 2008, 2009, even when I was at CCRI, all the way until about 2015. And I didn't, funny you say that, I'll start with this. Like, I didn't really come back home a lot to Newport. And like, I started to go through some things. I had to find myself really. And I had my own apartment. I just didn't know where I wanted to go in life and things like that. My brother, Jordan Neves, would always be like, Joseph, you got to coach, you got to coach, you got to coach. And my friend Lamont Thomas would have clinics when he was home from playing overseas. And I would do them and things like that for the love of the game, and I'd work his camps. But I wasn't like in the basketball business like that. I was trying to find myself. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go home. Like it was time to go home in 2015. And I moved back, and even getting back into Newport, like I had to find myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do. The community did right by me and things like that. I got a job as a paraeducator at Thompson Middle School. And I'm currently still there. I started in 2015, and my coach at the time, Jared Canini, was like, you should take over. And I was like, I don't want to. And then I started getting my love back and things like that. I started being around the kids, and it was tough for me. If you play basketball, you think you can coach, and you think you know everything. And I didn't know what the heck. Just because you play don't mean you know X's and O's. And it was a culture shock in that aspect. And I had to find myself in that. And Coach Saris, Coach Canini, my brother kept saying, coach. And I was like, okay. And from there, just got the ball rolling. I got so, like, people would say, oh, you can't coach, can't do this. And that fueled me. And I wanted to get better at it. And I always say you win with good players, but I wanted to get better at it and start studying my craft and things like that. So that's what got the ball rolling into me coaching. So.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. That's such a cool story, and it's awesome that you're able to get jump back into it. It's funny that the guys that you mentioned too, like Lamont Thomas, who does great things for the community too as well, like around everything. It's cool that those, and then Coach Harris obviously, but like push you right back into it and help you guide you into it.
Absolutely. It's a small basketball circle in Rhode Island. It's like everybody knows everybody. Like even look at me and Silly. Like if I saw him like today, it's like it's love. He's a Rick guy. I'm a Rick guy. That's just the way we do, you know. So it's just a small basketball community.
It definitely is. And for the viewers out there, if you don't know Joe, he's the personality this guy's got is unbelievable. I mean, he can go into a room and just light it up. So those kids are definitely lucky to have you at Thompson. I mean, they I'm sure they're appreciative of you, and I know the work ethic that you put in. So it's awesome to see that the love is back and that you've navigated to give back to the community that raised you. I think that's one of the greatest things that we can do as former athletes.
Absolutely. So thank God, definitely.
Yeah. So you're at Thompson. So you're coaching middle school at Thompson, but what led you to, Expressions Elite, the AAU team? Like, how did you get involved with them?
So good question. So my family, my uncle, my cousin uncle, out of respect, he started the Expressions clothing stores and sneaker stores in about 95, and it blossomed, really started blossoming even in 2003. And that is my family member, and he had about 40 stores all over New England. So my uncle in 2008 wanted to find a way of giving back, and he only knew how to give back with basketball. That was his passion and his love. And a lot of people, like even through this, I forgot when you guys were asking me these questions, would be like, why don't you, I would go on trips with my uncle and things like that because he's tight. He's like my second dad. And I'd go to the EYBL and I see all these big names, Marvin Bagley and things like that. And he'd be like, nephew, you should coach. I'd be like, nah, I don't want to. I just want to go on the trips. You know what I'm saying? I just want to party. So fast forward to 2015, I coach at Thompson, and then I get this group of kids in the community. Now it's like the spring. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the middle school team and put them in like zero gravity tournaments and let's just play.
Yeah.
And the kid who jump-started this for me was a kid named Benny Hurd, who was like good, like around Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And he's like that's like my godson. That's how close me and his father are. And I saw him play, and his uncle would be like, man, I'm telling you should get him on Expressions. I'm like, I don't know if he's that good. And then he like scored like 40, 50 on me and traveled. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna build this team around him. And my uncle saw us play, and he wasn't big in the middle school. He just cared about the high school. And he saw us play, and he saw my team, and we weren't that good, but he saw a couple pieces that could help. And he goes, you know what? Why don't you guys just play in this tournament and just have these Expressions uniforms? Who cares, nephew? I'll get you in the tournament for free. So I tell all the kids, and they're excited. So we go to Boston. We go like 2-1. We had like Colin Moraes. We had a couple kids that could play. And Benny was just like cooking. When I was doing coaching, I was just giving them the ball. We're getting pressed. Killing. So my uncle's like, yeah, man, just, who cares? It's not going to be nothing. Just take these uniforms. It's been fair game after that. We just been rolling. He set me up.
Yeah, that is great.
That's awesome. Yeah, Benny's was a great player in high school. I remember him, and they would always win at Portsmouth. I think he won back-to-back titles at Portsmouth.
Yeah,
he made it look real easy. And even in AAU, like he played 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade EYBL. And all of my kids, for the most part, 95% of them repeat in the 8th grade.
Yeah,
because like they do because they go to prep schools, and also that the level is different. Even like made hoops, it's like the junior EYBL. He never did that. Like he went like straight to the EYBL and like you're playing against like Amani Bates and stuff like that, and he's starting and holding his own. Yeah. And then like we got into COVID, and he wanted to focus more on football. But like me personally, his feel for the game, I haven't saw too many that I've coached, not any, with his feel for the game. He was remarkable. But him, Kamali, who's at URI, and a couple others really kickstarted a lot for me and changed my life doing it. So shout out to them.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's amazing.
Take us through how your practices go as an Expressions coach.
Wars.
Yes, I've seen them. Yeah.
Like all out. Right now, we've blossomed, thank God, we have 3 8th grade teams. We have our top made hoops team. We have the younger 8th grade team that didn't repeat. And then we have a 3rd team called the white team. So the black team, the red team, and the white team. We all practice together. There's about 35 kids. We run it militant. Like, if you don't have your practice jersey, you're crab walking. Like, we start off silly, just like Rick. 3-man weave, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, Celtic drill. And then we go in a shell drill for like 40 minutes. And we just preach man to man. My kids can blitz screens. They can hard hedge. They can drop coverage. We can switch. We can play 2-3, 3-2. I think the misconception is AAU teams don't practice. We practice 3 times a week. That's a lot for AAU teams. Sometimes next week we're practicing 4. Like, I value that in the teaching, and I need to get better at that in teaching. But all out wars, if you want your minutes, you're going to have to come in. And there's no sugarcoating anything, silly with me. So there's a lot of F-bombs and things like that, unfortunately. But thank God, the parents trust me and things like that. So it's just getting them battle tested and really teaching them how to play. We've got 27 sets, and you have to know them when you're not playing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's valuable. That's super valuable to have parents buy into that.
Totally. Yeah, so all out, just getting it in. And like, we practice tomorrow at Longplex in Rhode Island from about 8 o'clock to close to 10. And if you're not on time, boy, like, you can lose your spot, like everything. It's just not babying them. Like, usually the misconception is also that AAU kids are coddled, and we knock that right out of you. Old school jerseys, everything. Like, it's just not giving people this and that. It's really teaching them and earning making sure they earn everything they get.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I love to hear that.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. I mean, I've been to your practice tour. Coach Michener had invited me up to go check it out, and it was nuts. So it was just nonstop movement. I keep going, all this stuff. It was awesome to watch. I mean, absolutely. but you've coached and you've taught some great players. I mean, you obviously had the opportunity to coach one of the top players in the country, who's number 1 in his grade, AJ Bonista. But you also have Evan Michener Jr. that you coached, and what's it like to get these guys developed, and maybe someone who is ranked number 1, not to get them level, not get a bit big head maybe as well too.
I think the big thing is you have to recruit the parents as hard as you recruit the kids. and tell them that this is a process. Like AJ's dad. You take AJ DeBonsa, he was the #1 ranked 8th grader last year. And I hope when ESPN comes out with their rankings for the Terrific 25, he's #1 or he'll be #2. It's looking like he'll be #1. He's going to Team USA Final Four weekend. But to answer your question, me and his father developed a relationship during COVID. And AJ was weak. He was 5'11". He was in the 7th grade. He was underdeveloped, didn't know how to win. He was a kid, like all kids that you're trying to teach them. His father, my uncle, sat down with him as a program director and pretty much said, JoJo, and with his trainer, Brandon Ball, and Coach Dexter, you guys here, let's help this kid because he has natural ability. And I was like the mean guy. And I told his dad, listen, Ace, this is what we got to plan for. Just sit back and just ups and downs, trust us. And he did, and he's the best parent I've ever had to deal with. Never said nothing. I've kicked him out of practices when they've had to drive 25 minutes to practices. I benched him for 2 weeks. We've taken his phone. Like, parents would be ballistic, but that's exactly why where he is. Now, obviously, you need talent, and he's ultra talented. Same thing with Ev. The belief, the parents have to just step out of the way and let your kids struggle. And that's fine. As adults, we struggle. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, even though to a lot in this area, Rhode Island, New England, these are high-level kids. But if you don't knock that entitlement out of them, you look at Amani Bates. I mean, he's going to be a second-round pick. You go from being the #1 kid, like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and now you talking about you're a second-round pick to undrafted. You just don't know where your career could go. And I think it starts with the parents' trust in the coach and the player believing in them and making sure they're not entitled to anything. So that's my big thing.
I love it. That's a fantastic way to go about it, especially when you're dealing with high level talent, but also just having that meeting with those parents. I think that's the biggest thing, especially nowadays, I think, is parents having to trust the coaches and stuff like that.
Huge. And I still struggle with parents. I'm like, what are you talking about these college? I mean, your kid's 13. He doesn't have no college offers. I mean, he can barely dominate a grade. What are you talking about? And sometimes I just shake my head and I say, you know what? Everybody loves a kid, and you just can't take it personal. But sometimes, man, I'd be like, what the heck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
It's got to be tough to navigate it, but I mean, obviously you're doing a great job with that. And as long as the parents keep buying in, I think you'll continue to have success with that, obviously.
Yeah, God willing, you still need talent, I always say. So
they
keep buying in.
True. What so going into these AAU tournaments, have you started tournaments yet? Have we started? Yeah.
We go year round. Our middle school, we play like 36 tournaments a year. Like, we don't stop. The EYBL, it's funny you say that. I got kids coming up I got 3 kids out on prep school break staying with me right now, and I got another one on its way up as we speak. EYBL starts rolling on in the spring. So now that starts going, but middle school, we go year round. We don't stop.
No, but spring, like the spring.
Spring season is where it's at.
At. So how do you prepare against teams that you may not have faced before, or as far as like footage or film on them? How do you prepare?
We have, with the Made Hoops, it's like the junior EYBL, and Chad Babel, who's like the #1 consultant and runs Made Hoops, works for the EYBL. So he has Baller TV, where everybody can stream the games. And I mean, man, I already did my scouting report for next week already on 4 teams. I watched 3 games apiece and 3 games on each team. And prior to that, another 3. So I know their mother's sets. So just study it. Literally, and I'll call out the sets to the kids and we'll game plan. And, with technology, a lot of people, like, even if we're playing locally, like my top team plays up locally 10th grade, and my second team plays up locally 9th grade, and my third team plays 8th. I'll go on YouTube and just look up, because a lot of the parents just put it on YouTube, and I'll scout them. I scout every single team we play. So we prepare for everything. Tried it. So.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot, everything. So you coach the middle school team at Thompson, but you also do this too. So you're really busy.
Yeah, sometimes like in the middle school season when I'm at Thompson, I'm coaching 4 teams at one time. So I'm leaving Thompson practice from 4:15 to 5:45, get on the road and get up to Braintree by 7 on the money. That's where we're stationed like predominantly at. Sometimes we're at Longplex. And I do that 3-4 times a week.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's nonstop.
Do you sleep at all?
No. And I have trained, like I train like 35 kids.
Oh my
I
God.
run my own camps and everything like that. So it's nonstop. I'm in the total basketball business.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It seems like it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Definitely got the love back.
Yeah.
Thank you, silly.
This weekend, this championship weekend up for Made Hoop Session, that's the 18th coming up. So what are you looking forward to, being there in Pennsylvania, and what are you looking forward to do?
Well, I'm coaching our top 2 teams. God willing, we win it like we did last year.
Yeah.
We have the same exact record as last year. We lost this year the same exact session as last year, but with 2 totally different teams. I had some real Greyhounds as wings. We play a little bit slower this year, more smash mouth team, kind of like my style. So the biggest thing is just telling them just take one game at a time, figure a way out to win. Don't change what got us here. Make plays and have fun and play loose. And if it's not your game and you find a way to win, the good thing is you get another game. So take it one game at a time, and remember, like I told them, don't put pressure on yourself. Of course I want to win. Of course you guys want to win, but this is only the beginning. This is really the start of AAU.
Yeah.
Like this isn't the end all be all. Like my parents, it's not the end all. It's 8th grade. This is just the start. Of course we want to win. Of course, like we have all the morale and we're prepared. Let's just have a ball and just play loose and, and just take one game at a time, and we'll be fine for both of my groups. So I'm not, I'm worried, but if you're tight as a coach, the kids will see it. So that's my whole thing. Win the whole thing for both.
Yeah. So how does it feel? What's the feeling that you get from seeing your kids succeed once they kind of graduate from you?
Them making EYBL, making the 9th grade, and it's totally different from it. It's totally different, and preparing them and making sure they're not entitled and they're prepared to practice. It's not boo-boo or my knee hurts and this. Just making sure they're mentally ready and they know how to help winning basketball, even if it's not their day. So that's my success story, and hoping my job's to develop, and not every kid's going to make it to 17s, but at least get 3 to 4 that make it. Because, some kids peak early, some kids are a little bigger, some kids lose the love. I can only control what I can control, and that's my effort in getting them better. Like I tell the parents, they go, well, Joe, it's a little different when you get up there. Yeah, you're getting a little older. Now it's your job to take it to the next level for your kid. Like I always tell the parents, I stay, you go. So if you don't reap the benefits of all these games and all year round, it could be hard for your kid, and realize that your kid's role is going to change every year. Maybe not AJ's, maybe not Jalen Harrell, maybe not Jason, like star-studded guys. And that's fine. Your job's just like the reality of it. Not any of them really are going to make it to the NBA. You pray that they all do. Let's just get them to college. They know their role and use basketball to get you your degree and things in that force. So that's what I try to tell them. But, some listen, some don't. So you just do the best you can and try to develop them for the long haul of getting better with the program and really playing a lot of man. That's what my uncle wants. So that
Gotcha.
That's awesome. That's great that you're able to do that. And I guess we want to kind of jump. I know you do a lot of basketball and all this stuff, but like we want to know what's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball? Like when do you have time to do anything else?
Well, there's a St. Patty's Day parade in Newport tomorrow. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm just playing. I'm a homebody for the most part, but I got a lot of friends, and I feel like my friends get on me. Oh, you're here, you're there, and I got to go visit people and things like that. So, like, I got friends in Newport, Portsmouth, Middletown. I make sure I find some time to go hang with them and just kick back and relax. But Everything's basketball for me. If I'm not with basketball, I'm usually just with my daughters, just chilling, man. And I pretty much took on 2 kids we got over from Expressions. My uncle did. I do their day-to-day from Africa. So I'm always in the gym, or I'm kicking back, and I'm just trying to, ease down and slow down and just cool out. I love The Sopranos and The Wire.
Yeah.
That's rarely on my free time what I do, man. I'm just chilling. Like tonight, I watch basketball, but like I just like relaxing, like totally, or I'll go see my boys out. So I'm plain Jane.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely well deserved to relax after going 24/7 all the time. So.
Yeah, that's silly. You know me. That's me though, brother. I can't sit down straight.
I know that. So we are part of the Golf News RI network, right? So have you been on the links lately, or is that
a little bit?
Yeah,
a little bit.
We gotta start a like an Expressions fundraiser golf tournament.
Listen, we would love that. We would love that. Now, don't get me. I'll get my Tiger Woods out there right now.
Let's do it. We'll help you.
Yeah. You'll have to set that up for
totally.
sure.
I would love to, man. I would love to. I know the ball will be, in one of those little lakes, but I'll try.
It's all right. It's all about having fun and
it's for a good cause.
Yeah. We'll help you. We'll help you to
totally
get that going.
Totally.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. I think we should get that going with you. We'll get you out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm game.
All right, that sounds good.
And Joe, I know March Madness is around the corner, and when this comes out, the brackets will be out. But we got to ask you: do you have a pick or a favorite that you think that's going to win it all?
I got my bracket starting. I'm just letting y'all know. I do a pool, but I don't know. Duke's playing well. We'll see tonight. My pick is Kansas. Too tough.
Yeah, so good.
Too tough. Physically, but Bill Self's out. You never know. But I think he'll, God will, knock on wood, he'll be back. But I got Kansas. The physicality. They set the pace. Grady Dick hit shots, and they play big boy ball. But I say Kansas right now.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Yeah, I can't go wrong with that. They look good. Well, thanks, Coach, for so much for joining the show. We really appreciate your time and everything. It's been a lot of fun. Good luck this weekend on the 18th, and have a lot of fun. And good luck to you guys. And we'll have to talk about that Expressions tournament, golf tournament.
Hey, man, I'm winning it. But I appreciate you guys having me on. And Expressions everywhere. Always spread the word. But thank you guys so much.
Of course, no problem.
Man. I appreciate it. Nice seeing you.
You too.